Hey, I'm Barbara O'Neill, and if you're over 50, you might notice that dealing with excess phlegm and mucus becomes more bothersome. Many of us accept it as part of aging, but it doesn't have to be. Let me share natural strategies that not only clear these irritants, but also enhance your respiratory health, giving you a breath of fresh air you truly deserve. Ready to breathe easier and feel better? And as a special thank you for joining me today, we're giving away 100 free copies of my best-selling book to subscribers. So, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment about why you want to win my best-selling book. As we go through this series, it's an antibacterial agent. As we go through this, you will discover that everything we need, we've got. We've got it. It's all inside of us. We just need to know how to access it. And the way to exercise these amazing agents is nose breathing. Just the very simple fact of nose breathing. So why do people breathe through their mouth? Because their noses are all blocked up. Where's my resident why? So why are the nostrils blocked up? One of the reasons why the nostrils are blocked up is because of mucus, excess mucus. So then the question is asked, why is there excess mucus in the eustachian tubes? It's usually because of an allergen. Whenever you're breathing in or has something in the body that your body has an allergy reaction to, it'll create mucus. Mucus is what the body uses to protect the lining of the eustachian tubes. So that could be breathing in something of an irritating nature, which could be chemicals. It could be breathing in mold. Mold has an irritating nature and the body reacts by creating the excess mucus. Or it could be foods. And the most common allergen foods, the 5 common allergens are dairy, wheat, and we'll look at this a little bit more detail later. The wheat was hybridized, so it's a different wheat to what God made. Oats, tomorrow I'm going to explore why oats have a question mark about them. Peanuts are commonly contaminated with mold. That's why we do a satay sauce on one of our days at Misty Mountain in Australia, and we don't use roasted peanuts, we use lightly roasted almonds for the satay sauce. And sugar, the refined sugar, it is such a high acid and so sweet that it just feeds any problem in the body. But what we find when these foods are stopped, it can take at least 2 months before the eustachian tubes are clear. But we have been talking a little bit about tinnitus and problems in the eustachian tubes, sinus. There's a wonderful herb, it's called golden seal, and its nickname is King of Tonics to all mucous membranes. And sniffing in just a little bit of that powder can help clear out the eustachian tubes. Because if someone has had sinus problems for 20 to 30 years, even though they stop these foods, and it certainly is a little bit clearer, there also needs to come in something like the golden seal to help really clean out that area. It's one thing to stop the cause, then it's another thing to actually clean up the effect of having this problem for so many years. I'm thrilled to share how natural remedies like golden seal can address stubborn sinus problems and mucus from allergens. Common triggers like dairy and refined sugars can significantly impact your health, but herbs provide a promising solution. Known as the King of Tonics for mucous membranes, golden seal can effectively cleanse your eustachian tubes. Combining dietary changes with herbal treatments like golden seal can transform your respiratory health, underscoring nature's potent role in healing and preventing chronic sinus issues. Now, the reason we use the golden seal is because golden seal He has a nickname. He's called King of Tonics to all mucous membranes. But not only is it the king of tonics to all mucous membranes, what does this mean? It means that when it's going and touching the mucous membrane, it is stimulating healing and it's toning it. When you mix the slippery elm, it's slimy. I guess slippery is a nice way to say slimy. But it needs to be in the gastrointestinal tract because the whole of our gastrointestinal tract is lined with mucus. Not only do we use this golden seal because it's king of tonics to all mucous membranes, it's a very wide range antimicrobial. So what that means is it's antifungal, it's bacterial. So if there's any unwanted pathogens there, it can wipe them out. I had a lady on gut repair who'd had irritable bowel for many years. She changed her diet, as we'll see when we go through the journey of the gut. Changing the diet is also very important. Remember the 5 allergens? They appear to be incredibly irritating to the gut when it's in an inflamed state. So soft food, sometimes when someone's got irritable bowel, you can't even give them raw food. So they can't, the raw carrot, it's just too harsh on the gut. And they might even have to eat white rice. Because you've got to be very, very tender to that gut when it is so inflamed. So we had a lady who came to our program. She was eating the very food that was inflaming it. She didn't know. And we gave her the gut repair, which is this mix here. And she rang me up, about 2 months later. She said, I'm so much better. She said, I'm not bleeding from the colon anymore. She said, I don't have the cramping anymore. She said, I'm so much better. But she said, I ran out of gut repair, so I just bought some slippery elm. But she said, it's not as good. I want gut repair. So for some people, the slippery elm is enough. And for those who are a little bit more serious, then we go over to gut repair. And you can see why we add the golden seal. It's a powerful herb. It's very expensive. I have it because there's almost nothing that is as good as golden seal. It's very good. Yes?
How many times do you take it and how much?
It all depends. If someone's going 10 times a day and are bleeding from the colon and are getting cramping, you can give it to them every hour. And as things settle down, you ease back, maybe 2 hourly, maybe 3 times a day, and then just before bed at night. So you play with it. Remember what you're looking for. You're looking for the response. Sometimes with the tea that we give our guests, most people on the fasting days, they just go as they usually go. But occasionally we get someone who'll go 5 times in the morning. And I'll say, take some slippery elm, that'll slow it down a little bit. And they said, I took it, but it didn't work. Well, you need more. Can you see that? You need more. So I said, take it every half hour until things slow down. Ah, that worked. So you're training the people because people don't know. They're totally ignorant. If someone says, the colon tea doesn't work for me, so I say, well, you need more. As I've observed in my practice, phlegm and mucus are often misunderstood. They're not just annoyances, they signal deeper imbalances often exacerbated by common allergens in our diet. Imagine constantly battling sinus congestion or a perpetually runny nose because you're unknowingly sensitive to something you eat daily. The key isn't just to treat symptoms with drugs, which is a typical approach, but to explore a deeper dietary change. Removing irritants can dramatically reduce mucus production, not just temporarily, but permanently. This approach challenges conventional quick fixes and points towards holistic, lasting health transformations. So now we're going to have a look at the raw onion. And it's quite possible that I might start crying, is that right? So when you cut up an onion, the onion juices, they loosen up the mucous membranes, and that's a clear indication that this raw onion is very good for colds. So if you've got a cold, cut up some onions and you'll breathe in the onion fumes. But what I'm first of all going to show you is what you can do for a sore throat. You can finely slice the onion, so get a few fine slices. So when the grandson or the teenager or the son puts his knee through the sheet, it's a good idea to fold them up into squares. This is a good sized square. So we're making an onion poultice for the throat now, sore throat, and you just lay those little onions down like so, and then you pull the cloth over top and bottom and then put that round the neck. And then you might cover that with a scarf, or you might cover it with a little bit of plastic and then a scarf, and you can leave that on overnight. Your bed partner might complain about your perfume, but it eases a sore throat. I've had mothers say, my child's got strep throat, strep throat. I think, strep throat? What's this strep throat? It's just a sore throat. But obviously they've had a test and it's streptococci. It doesn't matter what it is, this will help it. So my children had sore throats, they had colds, they had everything that children usually get, and I never gave them drugs. I just used to use these simple, natural treatments. And I see them with their children today. They're doing the same thing to their children that I did to them. Why are they doing that? Because it works. And now I'm going to show you what you can do for a cough. And when a child or an adult, whatever age, gets a cold, it's not uncommon that they might cough for a few weeks. In fact, I've had ladies email me and say, my child had a cold and it's 2 weeks later and they're still coughing. And I write back and say, that's right. They will. But you know what? It'll pass. It'll pass. When the cough stops, it means it's done its job. So we're going to put this on the bottom of the feet. And we get a cloth and we put the chopped onion on. Depending on the size of the foot, maybe this was for a little 2-year-old, and you put the foot, the skin of the foot, straight onto the onion. And then you'll wrap this around the foot, or what some people will do is put a sock on and just put it down the sock. But then put a plastic bag on that, and you leave it there all night. And I remember being with my daughter and her little boy James, he was 3 at the time. He had a cold and he was coughing. She gave him a hot bath and put him to bed, and he coughed and coughed. After half an hour, still coughing, because we just thought, oh, he'll fall asleep in a minute. But we could see he wasn't going to fall asleep. So we got him up and we got a small onion, cut it in half and put one on each foot, and put a sock over the plastic bag, I think, and put him back to bed. Not one more cough. Not one cough all night. You almost have to experience it to see how amazing it is. See, the biggest pores in the whole of your body are in the soles of your feet. And anything that touches the soles of the feet, the body will absorb. That's why I'm very fussy about my footwear and about my socks. Because you have nylon socks and your feet get hot, your body's going to absorb that nylon, the chemicals from the nylon. I'm also careful in the summertime what I put my feet on. I always have leather sandals. And this is also why barefoot walking is so good. You've probably heard about earthing, going barefoot on the grass. I'm probably a bit fussy about where I go barefoot on what grass. I'm not going to do that if there are dogs and putting their droppings there. There's a bit of common sense there. Now I'm going to make an onion cough syrup. So there's lots of things you can do with onion. So I've chopped up an onion and I'm going to put approximately a teaspoon of honey on top of there, and then another layer of onion, and then another teaspoon of honey, and another layer of onion. I'm starting to cry. If you don't cry when you cut up the onion, that's a worry. It must be an irradiated onion. And you keep doing this until you've filled your jar. This is just the right amount. And then you let that sit for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you will have a syrup. So this time tomorrow night, we can have a look at this and you'll see that there's a syrup formed. So at the moment, we've just got this thick, gooey, sticky honey. Now on top I should do about 2 teaspoons. At the moment we've got layered in the jar thick sticky honey, and if I move it I don't see any fluid there. I've just got thick sticky honey and chopped onion. By the end of our lecture tonight, when I tip that up you'll see a clear fairly runny fluid. That's the syrup starting to form. And by tomorrow night, that's 24 hours, you'll see a fluid that comes up to about here. It'll be like an amber, very runny fluid, and that's your onion syrup. And you can strain your onion out, and you can keep that cough syrup in your fridge. Well, I don't know how long you can keep it in the fridge because it never lasted long in my house. But a German lady said, I've had a jar in my fridge for 8 years. Excuse me, the onion got my respiratory going. So that's the onion.
When you experience that nagging cough, thick with phlegm, people rush to over-the-counter medications. But let me tell you, there's a simpler, more natural way. The conventional cough syrups often mask symptoms without treating the underlying cause. Instead, harness the power of onions. Their natural compounds reduce inflammation and actually help thin out mucus, making it easier to expel. This age-old remedy not only targets the phlegm, but enhances your body's own healing mechanisms without the chemical additives found in modern medicines. Isn't it time we return to nature's solutions that work with our bodies rather than against them?
And we're going to look at a relative of the onion now, which is garlic. And this is a nice garlic. I always look for the purple ones. So you want to have a look at for the, I was going to say Australia, but I'm in America now. So I try not to get the Chinese ones. And if you press it down, you can open it up easily. And this is your natural antibiotic. In your book there's a recipe for the flu bomb, and the flu bomb has crushed garlic in it. I don't say how much because it depends how much you dare. Some people can handle a couple of cloves, some people can handle only 1 clove. Also a little bit of grated ginger, sprinkle of cayenne pepper, or half a teaspoon if you can handle it. Drop of eucalyptus oil, only a drop, there's definitely a measurement there. One lady rang up and she said, Barbara, I can't use this eucalyptus oil. I said, why not? She said, it says on the bottle, not fit for human consumption.
I said, we're not asking you to drink the bottle. It's 1 drop. In Australia, you can buy eucalyptus cough lozenges. What do you think's in the cough lozenges? Eucalyptus oil. So you only 1 drop. Yes, you'd probably be in trouble if you drank half a cup, but I think that's a bit of common sense, isn't it? Now what I'm doing now, this is what you do to a baby. You could do it to a newborn baby, you could do it to any baby. So I've got a little cloth that's a strip, and that looks like about 8 inches long, about a bit more than 1 inch wide, and I've put some fine slices of garlic on there. And I'm going to cover that over, and I'm going to pretend that the palm of my hand is the bottom of the foot. So I've got a layer of cloth between the fine slices of garlic and the skin. If that garlic touches the skin, it will blister the skin. Not so with the onion, but definitely with the garlic. And you can do this to a baby any age, and within a couple of minutes you can smell it on their breath, because it takes 1 minute for 1 drop of blood to go around the whole body. So this is a great way to get garlic into a baby if they've got a little bit of a chesty cough, or if they've got a head cold, a bit snuffly, then you can put the garlic on their feet. I used to put it on my son James. I realise now, and I didn't realise at the time, that we lived in a house that backed onto a swamp, so my children often got chest colds. When I moved to the rainforest, high and dry, no more chest colds, or very rare. But when he was 3, he used to get them a lot, so I'd finely slice the garlic, wrap it on his feet, put a sock and a shoe on, and send him off to play. So every step he takes, what's happening? A little bit more, a little bit more. At the end of the day, when I took his shoes and socks off, and the garlic off, the garlic was like bits of yellow dried leather, not 1 bit of juice left in it. It had all gone into James. So that's a way that you can get the garlic into the little ones. Although I find you crush garlic into mashed avocado and a bit of chopped tomato and salt, and put it on some crackers. I find even little ones will quite enjoy that. But garlic is a potent antibiotic, and you can use it as such. If you want to use it as an antibiotic, you would probably need probably at least 3 of those medium-sized cloves a day. And you could have it in the flu bomb, or you could crush it into a bowl of hot soup, or you could put it on a slice of sourdough toast and put avocado on top. But that garlic going in has a great effect for a chest cold or a head cold.
Garlic isn't just a kitchen staple, it's a potent natural antibiotic overlooked by many. By opting for pharmaceuticals, you miss out on garlic's extraordinary health benefits. A simple mix of crushed garlic, avocado, and tomatoes can combat chest colds by enhancing circulation and supporting nerve health. It efficiently helps clear mucus and phlegm, promoting easier breathing. Moreover, its anti-inflammatory properties assist in nerve repair and pain relief. While kids may shy away from its taste, applying sliced garlic to their feet overnight can absorb its benefits, providing a gentle, side effect-free remedy for cold symptoms.
Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is a remarkable herb. And cayenne pepper has 3 effects. Cayenne pepper, number 1, thins the blood. Number 2, it is a vasodilator. So I'm teaching you some medical terms here. Does everyone remember what a vasodilator is? It opens the blood vessels. So if the blood vessel's this wide, you take a vasodilator, it'll open it this wide. A vasodilator, vaso meaning vascular, blood system, it opens the blood vessels. So that's number 2, what it does, it's a vasodilator. So that's number 2. And number 3, it strengthens the arterial walls. So if a person has had a build-up in the arteries, if I had build-up in my arteries, I would not have a bypass. What I would do is I would start taking 2 capsules of cayenne pepper 3 times a day. Strengthens the arterial walls. Some people say, but is that safe? Does anyone ever say to their doctor when they're given cholesterol-lowering medication, is that safe? Or when they're given aspirin, is that safe? Do you know, they're not. They're not. But remember what the doctor says, it's impossible to abuse cayenne pepper. It might feel like it's burning, but it's tingling. The other doctor said it'll never cause a lesion. You know what that means? It will never damage the lining of your gut. And if you've got a stomach ulcer, it'll even heal that. Yes?
How many capsules was it again?
2 capsules 3 times a day. Now that's quite a strong dose, but if someone's coming off blood thinning medication, and if anyone's on rat poison, warfarin, because you know that's what it is, it causes rats to bleed to death, so they don't just give as much to humans. But I've known people that have said they just brush their arm and they bruise. Their blood just comes out of their nose. They're on too much. So that can be stopped immediately. I can't tell you what to do with your medication, but I can tell you what I would do, and I would go on 2 capsules 3 times a day. Remember what the good doctor said, a medical doctor in Jethro Kloss's book, he says, you cannot overdo it. You cannot abuse cayenne pepper. And you watch, if you're taking that much, your digestion will improve, your bowels will become nice and regular. Some people say, but isn't it a stimulant? It is, but do you know what it stimulates? Blood. It's a blood stimulant. I'm not interested in a nervous system stimulant, which is caffeine, which is refined sugar, which is alcohol, which is nicotine. They're nervous system stimulants. But remember what Leviticus 17:11 says, the life of the flesh is in the blood. So anything that stimulates blood stimulates life.
Cayenne pepper isn't just for spicing up meals. It's a powerful natural remedy for enhancing blood pressure, arterial and nerve health. Its ability to improve circulation is vital for nerve repair, helping to relieve symptoms like numbness and pain by delivering necessary oxygen and nutrients for nerve regeneration. Beyond mainstream treatments, cayenne offers significant anti-inflammatory and pain relief benefits, essential for those dealing with nerve issues or chronic conditions. Additionally, cayenne can aid in clearing phlegm and mucus, making it a comprehensive choice for those seeking holistic improvements to health. Incorporating cayenne into your daily routine can harness nature's potent healing properties.
But I want to take golden seal aside for a moment and show you where else it can be used. Because it's king of tonics to all mucous membranes, you use it wherever there's mucus. So let's begin up here with the eye. So eyes. There's a herb called eyebright. And eyebright can be used for all eye problems. It doesn't matter what the problem is. You can use eyebright, and it's a fine leaf. And we put that with, so what's the eyeball floating in? A mucousy fluid. So what will we use? Because it's king of tonics to all mucous membranes. Can you see that? So we use golden seal as well. Now the rule of thumb for herbs is 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of water. That's the rule of thumb.
I hope these natural remedies for clearing phlegm and mucus have enlightened you about the wonders of embracing what nature offers. Remember, Simple changes in your diet and daily routine can significantly improve your health. If you found this information valuable, please like, share, and comment below to support spreading the word about natural health solutions. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on how you can lead a healthier life. Thank you for watching, and take care of your health naturally.